The message traveled for 3 months across the vast emptiness of space before it reached the heart of galactic civilization. It was simple, almost unremarkable in its phrasing, yet it carried a weight no one in the galaxy had anticipated. It came in a language that no translator had ever encountered before. A species calling themselves humans, from a planet called Earth, requested to speak. They asked politely, almost naively, for permission to send a single ship to Kepler Station, a neutral hub where newly discovered species could formally join the galactic community. In the Grand Chamber of the Zephyrian High Council, Admiral Vexer read the message with a mixture of curiosity and amusement. Another primitive species had discovered faster-than-light travel and thought they could simply ask to join the galaxy. The Zaprans had ruled this sector for over 2 centuries. They had seen countless species attempt the same, only to fail spectacularly. Most learned quickly that the galaxy did not reward politeness, it belonged to those who wielded strength. Vexer convened his war council. The massive reptilian beings gathered around the holographic display highlighting Earth's remote location on the galactic rim, a region largely untouched by civilized species. The planet itself appeared unremarkable, mostly water, some scattered continents, electromagnetic signatures indicating a young civilization, barely emerging into spacefaring technology. Another species of weaklings, Vexer mused. They send a single vessel and expect the galaxy to welcome them. Vexer's plan was brutally simple. The Zaprans would bring a full battle fleet to Kepler Station. When the human ship arrived, it would be confronted with an ultimatum: surrender immediately or be destroyed, as an example to all other species who might dare to question Zapiran authority. If they surrendered, they would become another enslaved species within the Empire. 50 of the finest Zapiran warships were chosen for the mission, each the size of a small city, armed with plasma cannons capable of melting any known armor. History showed the Zephyrian fleet had never been defeated, and Vexer saw no reason to expect that record to change for a single primitive ship. Meanwhile, orbiting Earth, Captain Jake Morrison stood on the bridge of the UES Discovery. The ship was humanity's first emissary to the stars, poised to meet other intelligent life. Morrison had the calm, weathered presence of someone who had endured both the best and worst of human nature. He had been chosen to lead this mission for a reason: his ability to remain composed under pressure, to read people, even alien beings, with unerring precision. From the outside, the Discovery looked like a peaceful vessel. Its smooth, white hull bore only the symbols of the United Earth Space Service and the olive branch insignia of the Diplomatic Corps. Nearly a kilometer from bow to stern, the ship's bulk was devoted to living quarters, research labs, and cultural exchange facilities. To any observer, it was a ship built for exploration and dialogue. Chief Engineer Lisa Parker ran the final checks on the engineering deck. Young, yet brilliant, Parker's fingers danced over controls that would confound most technicians. Though the displays showed green lights across the board, she knew the most vital systems were invisible to standard readings. In the tactical section, Sam Rodriguez studied every fragment of intelligence on galactic politics gathered by Earth's networks. Limited as it was, it painted a galaxy dominated by aggressive empires and cautious, subservient worlds. The Zephyrians were the most formidable, ruling through fear and conquest. Rodriguez's experience with military history allowed him to recognize the familiar pattern: an empire built on intimidation, assuming compliance. Dar. Kate Williams, Chief Medical Officer, checked her facilities once more. Meeting alien species could stress even the most prepared crew, and Williams had designed her bay to handle both physical injuries and psychological trauma. Communication specialist Ben Carter tested translation systems designed to bridge thought and language, grounded in universal mathematics. Carter understood, however, that theory rarely survives the unpredictability of first contact. He had backups for his backups, human ingenuity refusing to leave any chance to failure. Captain Morrison gathered his senior staff in the briefing room. 5 humans sat together, reviewing mission parameters for the final time. Their orders were clear: establish peaceful contact, learn from other civilizations, and lay the groundwork for lasting cooperation. We represent all of humanity, Morrison reminded them. Our actions here will define what the galaxy believes humans are. We go in peace, but we must be ready for the possibility that not everyone shares that goal. All systems are ready, Parker replied. We can depart whenever you give the order. I've reviewed the tactical situation, Rodriguez said. Kepler Station is neutral, but we should anticipate the unexpected. The crew is healthy and ready for extended operations, Williams added. Morale is high. Communications are fully operational, Carter concluded. Assuming anyone wants to talk, we'll be able to. Morrison looked down at Earth, serene beneath them. A world shaped by adversity, whose history was written in survival against impossible odds. Every human alive was descended from survivors. That resilience, that stubborn refusal to yield, might be their greatest asset. Take us out, Parker. Let's meet the galaxy. The engines hummed to life. The Discovery moved toward the jump point, Earth shrinking behind them, unaware that 5 humans could change the fate of their species. 3 days later, the Discovery emerged from hyperspace near Kepler Station. The structure itself was a marvel, a rotating cylinder capable of housing 1 million beings from dozens of civilizations. Yet Morrison's gaze was drawn elsewhere. Surrounding the station was a fleet unlike any he had ever imagined, 50 colossal warships, each dwarfing the Discovery tenfold. Captain, Carter reported, the lead ship is transmitting. They demand immediate surrender. Morrison studied the display. Most species would have retreated or apologized. Humans rarely followed the rules of reason or caution, they had never had to. Open a channel, Morrison ordered. The figure that appeared was like nothing the humans had encountered, a towering lizard-like being, upright, clad in military uniform, yellow eyes gleaming with predatory intelligence. I am Admiral Vexer of the Zepyrian Empire, the alien announced. You will shut down your engines and prepare to be boarded. Your species will submit or be destroyed. 60 seconds. Morrison remained calm. Bullies, human or otherwise, relied on fear. And humans had a long history of surviving it. Admiral Vexer, I am Captain Jake Morrison of the United Earth Space Service, he replied. We came in peace, with no intention to submit. But we have no desire for conflict. Let us discuss this as civilized beings. Vexer's laugh was harsh, like breaking glass. Civilized beings. You are primitive. Learn your place, or cease to exist. 50 seconds. Morrison looked at his crew, Rodriguez, Parker, Williams, Carter, all poised, calm, ready. All stations, Morrison commanded, diplomatic protocols have failed. Prepare for hostile engagement. Remove all safety restrictions. Show them why Earth survived. The Discovery transformed. Hull plating shifted, weapon ports opened, adaptive systems activated. The peaceful exploration vessel had become something the galaxy had never seen. Plasma beams struck. It was as if the ship drank them, redirecting their energy, growing stronger. Rodriguez smiled grimly. Targeting ready. Systems optimized. Let's remind them what humans learned from 1,000 years of warfare. The stage was set. And in that instant, everything the galaxy thought it knew about humans, and about war, was about to be rewritten. Time slowed as the Zepyrian fleet unleashed its first volleys. Plasma beams lanced through space, immense arcs of energy capable of vaporizing entire cities. To any other species, the Discovery would have been obliterated in an instant. But not to humans. The ship's shields adapted dynamically, absorbing energy, redirecting it into its own power systems. The very weapons intended to destroy it fueled the ship's transformation. Adaptive armor holding at 100%, Parker reported. Her hands flew across controls, fine-tuning energy distribution, activating systems that no one outside Earth had ever imagined. Hull integrity stable. Redirecting excess plasma to auxiliary power. Rodriguez grinned. Weapons ready, Captain. Targeting systems optimized. Let's dance. It was not the human way to meet force with force. Instead, the Discovery moved like a dancer in zero gravity, weaving through the Xaperian warships with an elegance that defied their size. Each maneuver exploited patterns in the enemy fleet's formations. Rodriguez targeted their sensors, communication arrays, and coordination nodes rather than trying to destroy the ships outright. One by one, the massive Xaperian vessels were blinded, isolated, and left firing at shadows. Dr. Williams monitored the crew's vitals, astonished. Human performance under stress had reached levels she had only theorized. Heart rates were elevated, yet cognitive processing speed, reaction time, and teamwork had improved. The crew functioned as a single organism, adapting to danger in real time. It's like evolution compressed into minutes, she murmured. Captain, Carter called from communications, I'm intercepting Xaperian transmissions. They're panicking. They don't understand what's happening. Confusion is spreading across their fleet. Morrison remained calm, as he always did in the face of chaos. Good. Let's keep it that way. Rodriguez, I want them alive. Disable their ships, don't destroy their crews. This is diplomacy by demonstration. With precise surgical strikes, the human crew neutralized the fleet. Engines were disabled, weapons offline, but life support remained untouched. Within 30 minutes, 50 Xaperian warships floated impotent around Kepler Station while the Discovery remained unscathed, its adaptive armor gleaming like liquid metal. The Xaperian admiral's image reappeared on the main screen. His arrogance was gone, replaced by confusion and fear. What, are you? He whispered. We are humans, Morrison said, calm and resolute. We came seeking peace. You chose aggression instead. That was your mistake. Word of the victory spread faster than the speed of light, or at least, as fast as galactic information networks allowed. Within hours, every major species had received reports of the impossible battle, one human ship against 50 of the galaxy's most feared warships, victorious without suffering a single casualty. Many dismissed the story as propaganda or censor error, but those who had witnessed the events could not deny the reality. On Centauri Prime, emergency sessions of the Galactic Council convened. Hundreds of species debated what humanity's arrival meant for the established order. The Xaperians had dominated the sector for centuries. Their defeat by a single ship shattered assumptions about warfare, technology, and the limits of a species' potential. Ambassador Quintar of the Hegemony Trade Federation examined the data with excitement. His people, peaceful and commerce-oriented, had long suffered under aggressive empires like the Xaperians. The emergence of humans represented hope, a potential ally who could stand against military powers and change the balance of influence. On the opposite side, General Krav of the Krex Empire saw the event as a direct threat. Built on the principle that the strong rule the weak, the Krex viewed humans as a destabilizing force. If humanity were allowed to establish a presence in the galaxy, centuries of carefully maintained dominance could collapse. 3 days after Kepler Station, the Discovery received an invitation to address the Galactic Council. The tone was formal, polite, but Morrison could sense the tension beneath the words. The galaxy both wanted to meet these humans and feared them. The Discovery had been repaired, its peaceful configuration restored, but the crew knew that their capabilities were no longer secret. Morrison briefed his team as they prepared to depart for Centauri Prime. Parker had analyzed Xaperian systems in detail, confirming her earlier concerns. Galactic civilizations relied on size and firepower over adaptability. Their vessels were enormous, heavily armed, yet utterly predictable. Humanity's technology and tactics were surgical, precise, and adaptive. Rodriguez studied the political intelligence. The galaxy was more fractured than Earth's briefings had suggested. 6 major empires, dozens of smaller kingdoms, hundreds of independent worlds. Some were natural allies, others viewed humans as existential threats. Identifying friend from foe would be critical. Dr. Williams examined psychological patterns among alien species. Most civilizations had evolved along predictable lines: aggressive, defensive, or cooperative. Humans were unique in their flexibility, the ability to cooperate peacefully or fight with lethal efficiency depending on circumstances. It was an advantage others struggled to understand, often translating into mistrust. Carter expanded the translation systems, accommodating dozens of languages, each with radically different conceptual frameworks. A single mistranslation could trigger conflict. Clarity was essential. The hyperspace journey to Centauri Prime took 5 days. Morrison immersed himself in galactic history, realizing why humanity's victory had caused such shock. Most species achieved interstellar travel over millennia. Humanity had done it in under a century, forged by relentless struggle and competition on Earth. Emerging from hyperspace, Morrison marveled at Centauri Prime, orbiting habitats, bustling space traffic, trillions of beings from every corner of the galaxy. Ships of unimaginable shapes moved in intricate choreography, a testament to what diverse civilizations could achieve when working together. The Discovery docked at a diplomatic bay. The crew disembarked to find dozens of species observing them behind energy barriers. Some were curious, others openly hostile. Ambassador Quintar awaited, tall and graceful, blue-green skin, intelligent eyes. His demeanor was careful, practiced, but genuine. "Captain Morrison, welcome to Centauri Prime," Quintar said in accented but fluent English. "I am Ambassador Quintar of the Hegemony Trade Federation. We hope your presence marks the beginning of cooperation and trust between our peoples." Morrison shook the alien's hand, noting the care taken to understand human customs. "Thank you, Ambassador. We look forward to learning from your civilization and finding ways to work together." As they walked toward the council chambers, Quintar explained the political landscape. Peaceful species wanted humanity as an ally, aggressive empires viewed them as a threat. "The outcome of your address will shape the galaxy's future," he whispered. Entering the chamber, Morrison was struck by the diversity of life. Insectoid beings, massive gas-breathing entities, armored humanoids, each representing their worlds, their cultures, their histories. At the podium, General Krav of the Krex Empire was already speaking, his guttural language rendered by translators as demands for immediate action against humans. "These humans must not be allowed to establish themselves," Krav growled. "They have proven their willingness to use violence. If we do not act now, every peaceful species is at risk. I propose a blockade and preemptive measures to ensure they never return." Morrison observed the chamber carefully. Some species murmured agreement, others appeared uneasy. Krav attempted to force a vote before humans could speak, threatening to escalate the crisis. Calm descended over Morrison, as it always did in moments of pressure. Humanity had faced far worse odds on Earth. They did not back down. Rising from his seat, Morrison approached the speaker's platform. The council fell silent. Hundreds of eyes fixed on him, a single human representing an entire species. "I am Captain Jake Morrison of the United Earth Space Service," he announced. "I am here to speak for my people and address concerns about humanity's place in this galaxy." Krav barked, "You should not speak. Your presence threatens peace and stability. Return to your primitive world before force becomes necessary." Morrison surveyed the assembly, fear, curiosity, hope. Civilization spanned a galaxy, yet it thrived on dominance and fear. Humans offered something different, and that frightened those who profited from the old order. "We came seeking cooperation and friendship," Morrison said, calm and deliberate. "It was your allies, the Zephyrians, who chose violence. We defended ourselves, nothing more." The Krex general laughed mechanically. "Defended yourselves? You humiliated our fleet, revealed weapons no one should possess. How long before you used them to conquer the weak?" Morrison activated a holographic display of Earth, showing a world of resilience. Blue oceans, green continents, civilizations repeatedly rising from catastrophe. Earth is not gentle. Our planet has tested humanity in every way imaginable, ice ages, plagues, disasters. Yet we endured. Every human alive today is descended from survivors. That is who we are. The chamber murmured. Humans had survived not because they were strongest, but because they adapted, persevered, and learned. The Krex general laughed mechanically. Defended yourselves. You humiliated our fleet, revealed weapons no one should possess. How long before you used them to conquer the weak? Morrison activated a holographic display of Earth, showing a world of resilience. Blue oceans, green continents, civilizations repeatedly rising from catastrophe. Earth is not gentle. Our planet has tested humanity in every way imaginable, ice ages, plagues, disasters. Yet we endured. Every human alive today is descended from survivors. That is who we are. The chamber murmured. Humans had survived not because they were strongest, but because they adapted, persevered, and learned. Krov sneered. Pretty words, human. But your species is dangerous. The galaxy would be safer if you were eliminated. Morrison's calm gaze met the general's. Is that a threat, General? The chamber seemed to hold its breath. It is a promise, Krov said. Morrison smiled, quietly terrifying. I was hoping you would say that. We are not alone. Across hyperspace, multiple human fleets began emerging near Centauri Prime, clean, adaptive, precise. The galaxy had not yet seen the full measure of humanity. The human fleet emerged from hyperspace like a silent wave of inevitability. Over 100 ships of varying sizes, each sharing the same adaptive technology as the Discovery, formed a protective screen around Centauri Prime. They did not advance aggressively. They did not power up weapons. They simply held their positions, a quiet but undeniable statement of capability. Fleet Admiral Ryan Hayes appeared on the communication network, his silvered hair and lined face conveying decades of unbroken experience. This is Fleet Admiral Hayes of the Earth Defense Force, he announced. Any attack on human vessels or personnel will be considered an act of war against Earth and her colonies. General Kravix froze, surveying the display. Hundreds of human ships surrounded the planet, diverse in design, unified in technology and purpose. His aggression, carefully honed over centuries, faltered under the realization that humans did not rely on size or sheer numbers. They relied on adaptability, coordination, and insight. The Krex fleet initiated the engagement. Massive plasma and particle beams lanced outward, enough firepower to obliterate entire worlds. But the human ships absorbed the energy, converted it into power, and maneuvered with uncanny precision. The dance of combat began, not a battle of attrition, but a sequence of calculated, adaptive maneuvers that neutralized every Krex advantage. Rodriguez coordinated targeting with meticulous care. Engines, sensors, communication arrays, disabled in sequence, leaving enemy ships powerless while preserving their crews. Parker pushed the adaptive armor to its limits, shifting shields, hardening hulls, and distributing energy in real time. Each attack was met with a response more sophisticated than the last. Dr. Williams monitored the crew as they executed their strategy. Stress levels remained elevated, yet cognitive processing, reaction time, and coordination reached unprecedented levels. Human adaptability is on display, she noted. They thrive under pressure. This is survival honed over millennia, compressed into moments of absolute clarity. The battle lasted 47 minutes. By its conclusion, the massive Krex fleet floated helpless in space, engines dead, weapons offline, yet every crew member alive. The human ships held formation around Centauri Prime, imposing but unthreatening. Hayes spoke again through the communications network, addressing the Krex leadership. General Kravix, your fleet is disabled, not destroyed. Your crews are unharmed. This was not conquest, it was education. Consider carefully what aggression against humanity entails. In the council chamber, silence fell. Representatives from dozens of species struggled to comprehend what they had just witnessed. One ship, one species, had neutralized a galactic superpower without bloodshed. Ambassador Quintar rose, slow applause beginning. Peaceful species joined him. The chamber echoed with acknowledgement of a new balance of power. Morrison approached the humbled Kroviks. Your ships are intact, your crews safe. You fought the last war using strategies that succeeded against other species. But humans are shaped by survival, adaptation, and learning. We do not fight to conquer. We fight to endure, and to protect. Krovik studied him, bewilderment and a spark of respect in his eyes. How did you do it? Morrison gestured toward the tactical display. We anticipated your strategies, adapted faster than you could respond, and disabled your fleet surgically. Strength is not about overwhelming force, it is about understanding and responding to challenges with precision and foresight. Hayes confirmed over the network, your fleet will be restored. Crews cared for. Ships returned to full power within the hour. Humanity offers not domination, but demonstration. The chamber erupted with discussion. Ambassador Quintar moved to the podium. I propose formal recognition of the United Earth Space Service as a legitimate galactic power. An invitation for embassies, trade, and cooperation. The vote was near unanimous. Aggressive empires remained silent. Peaceful species rallied behind humanity, drawn by evidence rather than rhetoric. Dr. Williams observed from the discovery. Captain Morrison's stress remained low, performance high. Humans, when confronted with existential threats, did not panic, they adapted, collaborated, and prevailed. Parker was already discussing joint research projects with alien engineers, integrating adaptive technology with galactic materials and energy systems. Rodriguez trained allies in human tactical doctrine, focused on defense and protection rather than conquest. Carter established interspecies communication networks, connecting hundreds of worlds for instant collaboration. 6 months later, Captain Morrison stood on the observation deck of the Terran Alliance headquarters. The station orbited a neutral star system, a hub of cooperation between Earth and dozens of civilizations. Human and alien engineers collaborated on shipbuilding, blending technologies in unprecedented ways. The Zephyrian Empire had reformed, voting to end centuries of militaristic rule and join the alliance. The Krex Empire assumed the role of defenders rather than aggressors, their warrior culture redirected toward protection. Even former adversaries found purpose in the new galactic order. Morrison reflected on the journey. The Discovery's crew had become the foundation of a new generation of human explorers, carrying not just technology, but the ethos of humanity, adaptation, perseverance, cooperation, and the indomitable will to survive. Every ship departing Earth bore this legacy into the unknown. It had never been about the ship itself, or even the advanced weapons and adaptive shields. It was the crew, the civilization that had forged them, the centuries of struggle and ingenuity that had created a species capable of survival and ethical power. As human and alien vessels departed to explore the galactic rim, Morrison watched from the observation deck. The universe, vast and unpredictable, stretched before them. Humanity had found its place, not as conquerors, but as resilient, intelligent, and principled participants in a galaxy that had never encountered anything like them. The age of human expansion had begun, a new chapter in galactic history. Peace through strength, adaptability through intellect, cooperation through respect. The galaxy had learned a profound lesson: survival does not demand domination. True strength lies in resilience, understanding, and the will to protect life itself. Humanity's story was no longer confined to Earth. It had become a story written across stars, in the behavior of fleets, the decisions of councils, and the shared understanding of countless civilizations. And this story, Morrison knew, was only just beginning. As the first Terran exploratory fleet departed, the galaxy looked on, not in fear, but in awe. Not at a species of conquerors, but at a civilization of survivors, thinkers, and protectors. humans, the unlikeliest yet most formidable presence among the stars.